Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelai Shamayo, and this is MeWe Fairs, a safe space for authenticity and transformation. We have many online events and events throughout the Pacific Northwest. Tonight's event is a panel on spirit-led businesses. We have 7 of us here today on the panel that all have experience in business, working for ourselves, some owning many businesses, some of us working for others over the years. We have so many different specialties, both in the spiritual world and the business world. And we are bringing all that together to support you and your business, whether it's work that you're doing for others, work you do as a coach, consultant, whether you do in your own practice that you own in so many modalities, whether you're considering starting your own business or you've been doing this a long time and there's just some new thing that you want to explore that you don't know about enough about, whether it's some area where you've had struggles, just wherever it is, we are here to bring all of our resources to support you, to empower you, to help you feel more confident and to help you get whatever resources it is that you need. Let's see. So it's free to be here, and I'm be putting the basic information in the chat. There's a small price for asking questions of the panel. We're going to have everyone introduce themselves, and you'll be able to take a couple minutes sharing about who you are and what you do. And I encourage you to share broadly, not just for business, just share broadly about all that you do. And then we're going to come back around and talk more about business and your specialties in business. So or a list maybe it's just some tips and some insight that you want to share with people. It's so I intend for the first intro to be just more brief, and then we'll come back and go deeper. So I know like we have so many things that we all talk about, and I personally think having the range of all that is helpful for people. All right. Well, let's see. So we're going to go in a similar order as before, maybe slightly different order. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see. We'll have Jenny, Sandra, Tiffany, and then I think we were Goddess Renata Satora and Misun. So that's my aim, and I'll get the basics in the chat again for everyone. I appreciate people that keep coming in. This is great. Great. People being with us here on Saturday. All right. So I will time just so we have an idea. And if you're getting close to, we'll just do like 2 minutes the first round. You'll have a spinning rock just to let you know that you're getting close to time. Oh, yeah. And more people still trying to get in the Zoom room here. For some reason, it's taken a while. All right. Great. Okay, great. And I will fix what I've got one thing I've got to go fix typo. All right, great. So Jenny, go ahead.
All right. Welcome, everybody. We are so glad you're here. I'm Jenny Capella with Miracles with Jenny, and I am an intuitive crisis, career, and relationship coach. And in those different areas, there's a lot of transitions that people go through, and maybe some of you are going through some of them as well. Specific to tonight, and as Lorelai said, we'll talk more about the business side later, but just on this topic, I love working with people who are considering starting a spirit-led or soul-led business, because there's a lot of things to think about. And sometimes we're called to entrepreneurism and we think it has to be in the form of a business, but actually there could be some initial first steps that could get you down the road a little bit more effectively before you open a full-blown business. And then for some people, they're ready to open a full-blown business, and that's fine too. But I love working with people at that kind of crossroads point. And then regarding crisis, there's people that come to me with spiritual and soul level crises. For example, dark night of the soul and relationships. People come to me when they're going through something sometimes tragic. They've lost a family member, or they're in the middle of a separation from a life partner. And no matter what the transition is, I use my intuition and practical tools to assist you in navigating through that. So thanks again for being here. We look forward to answering your questions.
Thanks so much, Jenny. All right, next is Sandra.
Hi, I'm Sandra Jeffs, and I have a long career of either working in the business field, primarily at the managerial level, but I've also started and run 7 different entrepreneurial solopreneur businesses. So I have a lot of experience with, all aspects of the business. I'm a transformational guide, and I work with theta healing, with feng shui, both of which I'm at a master's level. I love really helping people to remove and transform doubts and fears in their mind, which can sometimes block you from even starting or block you as you've started already, and shift into more positive way of looking at your business as always being a beginner. No matter how long I've worked at my business, I'm still a beginner. I'm still learning. I'm always going to be learning. And I really think that if you can remove the idea of failing and it put in its place instead that was an experience that taught you something and gave you more clarity which direction you want to go or what you want to transform. So I look forward to talking with everybody and see you later.
Great. Thanks so much, Sandra. All right, next we have Tiffany.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany Rose. I also go by Intuitive Tiffany Rose online. I'm founder of Regal Rose Consulting, where I blend intuitive insight with creative strategy to help spirit-led entrepreneurs and coaches, healers, small business owners to bring their business visions to reality. I specialize in building websites, uh, Etsy shops, working on developing unique brand identities, designing your graphics, writing compelling content, brainstorming creative ways to stand out online. Also work on social media planning, uh, helping you get unstuck when and inspired. Separate from business stuff, I know we're supposed to talk about all the gamut of the things that we do. I help people with emotional healing, traumas, inner child healing, which supports entrepreneurs working through imposter syndrome, limiting thought patterns, empowering you to feel confident in sharing your unique gifts and offerings. I also offer spiritual hygiene coaching to help clear negative energy, unwanted spirits from your business and your business owners. I believe that energetic clearing is just it's just as essential as marketing strategy for your true business growth. So should we say our specials now, Lorelei, or should we wait on that?
It's okay. You can save it now if you want. That's fine.
Okay, so for tonight and the next 72 hours, I'm offering $99 90-minute brainstorming sessions. That's pretty close to 50% off, and 20% off Etsy shops or websites. So that's anywhere from $100 to $400 off, depending on the package you're choosing. That's good for the next 72 hours. I also, everything on my website, pretty much all of the listings are on sale anywhere from 20 to 50% off. So this is your ideal time to come for galactic astrology, 70D Arcturian Reiki, energy clearings, spiritual hygiene coaching, and more. So we'll talk more business here in a minute.
Great. Thanks so much. All right, let's see. So next we have Goddess Renata, then Satora, and then Misa.
Hi, all. Welcome. Goddess Renata, New Earth Mentor. I made that title up. In fact, my whole life, I don't fit into anything, so I've always had to create my own template. So that's something that you're interested in doing, whether you're going to open up your own business and have a storefront. I've done that several times. Used clothing store. Or whether you want to be into the, fashion industry. I was model for quite a while and did a lot of that personalized styling. So point is, I can work with you from the inside out or the outside in. It just depends on where you want to start and the context of what you want to do with yourself, how much you want to receive direct revelation and how much you want to plug into your true authority. I'm your girl. All right. Love to see you.
Thank you so much. Next is
Okay.
Satora.
Hi, I'm Satora from Satora and Amaris, and I'm a channel energy healer and spiritual mentor. I work with and I live with Amaris as a group of ascended masters and angels and very loving beings. And through my life, in order to survive, I had to do a lot of energy work without even knowing I did do energy work. So it has become second nature to me. I've become very efficient at personal transformation, transforming traumas and negative patterns, personas that have been created over my lifetime or in early childhood, limiting thoughts. So we can help you with this in very efficient ways. Also, with self-care, simple self-care methods, how to protect your energy, which is extremely important if you go out in business, especially if you do anything spiritual, but with any business, anything you deal with people, very important to protect your energy. And my special today is I'm having a raffle. If you're interested, I'm raffling off. Oh, I forgot to write the number. It's five 15-minute laser focus sessions free with Amaris. So you get a free reading, basically. You can email me at team@amaris.com, and then I will raffle that out if we have more than 5 people writing in. But everybody will get a prize. Even if you don't get the 15-minute session, you'll get something else. You get a free group healing session. I think that's it for now. Oh, and if you email me and if you participate, you will then go on my email list. And once I start emailing people, you'll get emails from me. Okay.
Great.
And it's great to have you.
Great. Thank you. And Misan is next.
Hi, my name is Misan Oh, and I am a spiritual life coach, which I'm focusing on coaching women. And I believe that coaching women should be different than just a general traditional coaching style. And what I'm focusing on is really, I believe that concept of wearing one hat. So, like, I'm the same human being when I'm in my business, when I'm with my son, when I'm with my friends, I'm the same person. That's who I really am. And business is not different than anything else. So I'm very focusing on my work is really focused on shifting identity, that we have so much programmed belief system, and from there we created a lot of story and we believe it as a truth for a long time. So it's like from who I think I am to who I really want to be, to have the life I really want to live. So that identity shift, once that happens, really everything just follows effortlessly. Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing in my business, and I'm excited to share that journey and story with you. Thank you.
Great, great. And I'm Lorelei Shamayo. In addition to running the event, I'm also an intuitive eye reader. So I believe eyes are a window to the soul. So I'm aiming to read your soul and reflect back your soul, what your purpose is, why you're here, and give you feedback and advice as to how you can best do everything you're doing in better alignment with your purpose. It might be something that you do yourself. It might be something that's better for you to work with others to accomplish this. Just whatever I see. And if you have questions about specific people you're interacting with, if you show me photos of them, I can comment on a relationship and how to make that work better. If you're looking at bringing new people into the team or you want to work with a partner, I can give you advice about who I would look for. I can make comments on someone that you're considering. And I also have done intellectual property in the past, all kinds of project management. And I use my work for hiring. So yeah, I give you comments on people like that. And then I've seen resumes, lots and lots of resumes doing hiring work. So I rewrite resumes for people. I can give feedback about that. And I do all the advertising for all the Mimi Fairs events. And so I can answer questions about Facebook advertising and a bit about Instagram advertising and things like that. Yeah, so those are all the different kinds of things that I can do today. All right, great. Well, let's go around and chat again and do a little bit of a deeper dive into business. It might be if you didn't talk about your special, if you want to talk more about your special, or maybe just some insight of things that you think are particularly useful for this time we're generally all in the US probably that are here today, just how that's all affecting business and what advice you have around those kinds of things, just any more general things that you want to say for everyone, either deepening in your own work or something advice that you want to share for people. It's really up to you what you want to do with your time. So yeah, just go ahead and focus a little bit more on that business here. And if you don't feel ready at the moment, you want to wait until others share, that's fine. Just tell us to pass you by and we'll come right back. So we'll just go in the same order for right now. I think it's Jenny, Sandra, Tiffany, and then Goddess Renata and Satora and Misan. All right, go ahead, Jenny.
So I've been working in the business world for 16 years, and it took me so long to take this concept of having a spirit-led business full force in the front lines. I had so much resistance over the years, and some of you may be experiencing that too. And I really want to just encourage you, if you are experiencing that, there's such incredible wealth of wisdom on this panel tonight. It's really remarkable. We each have our own specialties. And one of the things that I focus on with people is if they're feeling like they're pent up energy about, I really feel like I'm being nudged in the spirit, spirit-led business. What does that mean? And how could that play out? And sometimes it's really helpful, and it certainly was for me on my journey, to take baby steps. And I can tell you that for me, I'm not saying this would happen to you, but for me, I would step forward and then I would retreat, and I would step forward and then I would retreat, because business, in my opinion, in my personal experience, is a crystal clear mirror in your face every day. And so what I mean by that is that our business is an extension of ourselves. And so it reflects back to us the strengths that we've got, and also some areas that we might need to grow in. And believe me, when I tell you, I've had plenty of those areas to grow in. And so when I tell you that I went forward and step back a little bit, that was a large part of that. But now I have gotten a business out there that is on the spirit-led side versus other entrepreneurial ventures I've done that were more strictly kind of corporate business ventures. So I hope that you feel comfortable in asking us any kind of questions tonight about wherever you're at, because we welcome and encourage whatever kind of questions you have at whatever stage you're in. So thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Jenny. Sandra's next.
Hi. I think it was Satoru said that sometimes it's about need. And my first business and one other business was more about need than where I wanted to go. They were both really successful. I was 11 years old when I went into housekeeping professionally. By the time I was 12, I was working 14 to 15 hours a week. And that went up to even more. But it wasn't something I loved, but I was really successful at it. I did my own marketing when I was 11 years old and got it. It was very different back in the 60s. But, and the other business I did was when I was in college, and the college was out to support myself in the summers, I would paint houses. And that led to making over $100 an hour most of the time that I worked. It was really successful. But in every single instance of forming a new business, I was a beginner in that field. I knew the basics I knew cleaning really well, but I knew the basics about painting, but I learned on the job. And I asked a lot, and I just went out and did it. I didn't worry about it. I just did it, and I learned on the job. So I had a desire for my businesses. I had a need, and my intuition was urging me to do something. In no way was I ready to do it. I learned on the fly. Only 2 of my 7 different businesses that I've done didn't fully succeed. And the first was that I realized that although I had the talent, I didn't like doing it as a business. I just, as a business, I didn't like it. I liked it when I was just doing it for my friends and family and whatever. The second business that failed was because I ignored my intuition on how to do the business. I had sat down and prepared, and I had a business plan and did very well. And then I got headhunted, and that person talked me into opening a shop in a mall, and I lost every bit of my money and went into thousands and thousands of dollars worth of debt. I believe that if I'd stuck to my business plan, I would have done all right, but I didn't pay attention to my intuition, and paying attention to where you're guided with your intuition and getting in touch with that is critical. My experiences have taught me that I immensely dislike sitting in a store and waiting for customers to come. I don't like that at all. The message that I'd like to give people is to align your heart, what your heart is guiding you to, with your mind. Get rid of those doubts, those fears, those confusion, whatever. And that alignment is a process to do, but once you're aligned with your heart and your mind, it's called heart coherence. Your body follows through, and you have the energy and the inspiration and the motivation to do it automatically. So I can help you with the mind and business. When your heart is fully committed, your mind aligns. Heart coherence comes when you trust yourself. You're trusting the urges, you're trusting what you're hearing and feeling. And the reality is that if you wait and wait until you think you're ready, rather than trusting your intuition, things can not come together for you. So just start small and learn as you go. If that's where you feel comfortable, then expand and learn more. But whatever way you do it, just start. So thanks.
Thanks so much, Sandra. Next is Tiffany.
I'm so excited to be here tonight talking with all of you about starting, growing, or revamping your spirit-led businesses, because your business isn't just about making money. It's an extension of your soul's work. When you combine solid strategy with intuitive guidance, you create something magnetic that attracts the right clients and feels aligned every step of the way. So I want to give you a few practical things that you can take home tonight, key components of a thriving online business or coaching practice. First, brand clarity, knowing exactly who you are, who you serve, and what transformational services you offer. This is a big piece of the puzzle, being able to articulate these things and just knowing. If you're fuzzy here, everything else is going to feel harder. Second is your presence. This is your digital storefront if you're running an online business. Your website, your social media, even your email signature. It should all feel cohesive and instantly recognizable as you. The third is your visual appeal, your graphics, your photos, the colors that aren't just pretty, but aligned with the emotion and the energy that you want your audience to feel. Fourth is content. The words, the messages, they all need to connect. This means speaking in your client's language, first identifying who your ideal client is, and then communicating with them while still letting your unique voice and your heart shine through. Fifth is your mindset. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're battling self-doubt or fear of visibility, you're going to stall out. Success requires that inner work alongside the outer action. So taking care of any traumas or the imposter syndrome, all of these things are a big factor. And then finally, spiritual hygiene, keeping your energetic field clear, your intuition sharp, your creative flow unblocked. When you're aligned and you're grounded, your business becomes a channel for inspiration and opportunity. These are all pieces of a wheel that work together, and if one spoke is missing, the ride gets a little bumpy. Not that you can't fix it if it does get bumpy, but when you give attention to each of them, your business can roll forward with confidence and momentum. So whether you need a new website, a creative spark, some energetic clearing, these are all things that we would be happy to talk to you about tonight, all of us practitioners. Yeah, that's what I have for right now.
Great. Thank you so much. And next we have Goddess Renata.
Right on, Tiffany. Right on, everybody. That's like really solid advice. We can stop now. I was just seeing if you're paying attention. It's all good. I have had a multitude of businesses. I hear you about maybe losing your tail, Sandra, on a couple of things, but I'm a back-end learner. I can cut my nose off to spite my face, and it served me really well. I can say that now in hindsight. I didn't tend to take people's advice. My mom's like, well, you can't start a business on a shoestring. You can't start a business on a shoestring. I started many on a shoestring, like one shoestring. And one of my last ventures was a gently used clothing store called Repurpose Wear. I love that. I hear you on sitting inside waiting for clients to come, Sandra, and I waited so what's going to happen on the day that I make no money? Because I hadn't had a no money day, and then the no money day came, and actually there were a few no money days, and it's like, well, it's just a no money day. And when we first opened up the store, I told my husband, I don't want to do Facebook, because this is like 12 years ago. I don't want to do Facebook. I don't know. I'm just the one-on-one gal. I don't want to do credit cards. He kind of looked at me like, okay, you're good. But on those days that, it was kind of a zero, there were like credit card sales. So I was grateful that I paid attention. Fast forward several years, I'm like, I don't think I would change a thing. I never listened to what people told me to do. I would find my own way to do that. But, after doing numbers and a lot of inner work with myself through different vehicles, I came to understand that, with all those fives in my name, I'm a plate spinner, a proverbial plate spinner. And I don't focus in a linear trajectory at all with things. And so once I started to honor how I operate, I like to say how I roll, then I was able to plug into the flow that was coming to me. And I was able to take the key, like, ooh, my excitement is the key, to open the door and then experiment. And experimentation is a wonderful tool because I have lots of life experience in a wide variety of areas, and I can apply them to my relationships. I've been married for 40 years to the same wonderful husband, but we've been together 5 lifetimes, brother and sister, sister and friend. He died in those last two. Two, we were actually married, and I died in a water accident and a snow accident. I do ski, but I do not know how to swim as a Pisces. So I'm just saying that I am so jacked to start utilizing the ability to be online. And I know nothing about this. I found myself in a 5K, your first 5K, your first 5,000 online just about 2 weeks ago, and I took a training. It's interesting how all of the back end knowledge is so important about posting on YouTube. You're right about that, Tiffany, and doing membership platforms. And one thing I learned last week that's really valuable, and it like made me feel so comfortable about all the things I know, but I have to focus down to one thing. But then I don't want to leave that out. Here's the acronym. LAB, lab. Once I learn something and once I apply it and I get a benefit from it, I am my case study, right? And so I'm able to share that with others. And when I heard that, I'm like, well, snap. I have learned so many things in my life. Every healing tool that I know, from essential oils, aromatherapy, working the meridians. I'm a Reiki master, and how to balance the self regenerating properties of my own physical vehicle and learn how to balance what comes to me and through me. I can show you that, but I can show you that through my own vehicle. This is how I took the information, extrapolated that wisdom, and I made it my own. And I encourage everybody to do that. Direct revelation. We are plugged into source all the time. And abundance really is just having what you need when you need it. It really is not about how much money you have in your bank account. However, I feel that I am ready to be one of those wisdom sages that has the bank account that matches that. Up until this point, I tend to give a lot of things away, and it's all good. I'll continue to do that, but I'm just focusing now. I can see there's an opportunity to really reach more people and be more effective by just focusing, and as a proverbial plate spinner, but I'm ready to do it. All right.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Next we have Satora and then Meeson.
So the journey of creating your own spirit-led business is really a very transformational journey. Was it Jenny who said you get the mirror held in front of you? So everything everybody said so far, I agree. And I wonder what to say. The importance of self-care in being gentle with yourself in that journey, and also having a solid foundation, like a practice or a community or all of that, something there to support you on that journey is really important and makes it so much easier if you have a foundation in yourself, in your own alignment, in your own connection with source or with spirit, however you call it, and have help with that the self-care aspect of it, and keeping your energy clear, as Tiffany said, having ways of keeping your energy field intact is very important. So throughout my life, being extremely sensitive, and many of us are very, very sensitive, and if you're an empath, I often had depression, but a lot of it was just me not knowing what was going on and just taking on all kinds of energies that then accumulated in me and clogged up. And now that I know how to keep my energy clear and how to clear energies and just create an energy field around me, a loving energy field, it's so much easier and so much clearer and so much less depression and energetic anguish or emotional anguish. So that aspect is very important, because just creating a business and going out there, getting yourself out there is quite complex, and there are many pieces to it, like the business aspects of it, that is really already quite a bit. So it's good to have a foundation and have support. So I think that's my main message for you too, because everybody else already said so many great things.
That's great. Thank you. I appreciate all of us, right? Seeing what is the distinction, like what is the perspective that we bring that adds more to the pie. And Misan, joining us for the first time. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. For me, that spirit rather, business means really come into the foundation of the beingness, who I am. Few people mentioned that our business is a reflection of who I am. I totally agree to that. And also, I like that quote. I don't know where I heard of it, but it says, when you don't know exactly where you want to go, every single distraction looks like opportunity. So, I mean, I experienced it personally, especially in business. Just especially in this area, like coaching, industry, so many things out there. So many people say you have to do this, do that. Like so many have to do list, and I was distracted by it a lot. And of course, during that time, I completely, not completely, but almost lost who I am, why I'm doing this work, why I am here. It's more focused on outcome than the journey. And just to, yeah, the loss, it's very easy to losing the connection with the people in that place. So it's really focusing on knowing, like Tiffany mentioned, first thing we have to do in business is knowing who I really am and what I really, really want, where I really want to go, want to be, um, the ideal future self, uh, defining that first. So from that place, we can create the journey that is aligned with that future self, not who I am right now today, but who I will be in the future. So that is really important. I personally experienced that once I'm really focusing on that foundation, my action, what I need to do, just followed. For example, in the beginning of this business, I was thinking, I'm not the social media person. I will never ever post on the social media. I'm not gonna go that way. And also there are people who can support that opinion. So I just believed, choose the people I want to believe, and I just ignored the other side. But now I'm still learning, but I'm posting, and even there is no discomfort when I post about it. So the action just follows because I'm focusing on who I want to be, what my future self will do in this moment, not what I'm feeling right at this moment. So that's the basic work I'm doing with my clients. And also I want to share with you today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. I think my share is connected to other things that others have said. I just believe that when we do what's in alignment with our purpose, that we feel so much more joy, that we make such a bigger impact, that we feel so much more fulfilled, that we are that much more energized to give and to contribute more. And so I believe that if we each come from that place of sharing what's authentic and true for us, that we will naturally find the people that resonate with it. Of course, we have to, I think that all of our purposes are connected to what's generally like wanted and what would be of service. So it's really looking for that thing at the same time that it is fulfilling and so deeply like energizing of us that it's also like in balance of what's wanted in the world. So sometimes there's a tuning of that. Sometimes we have to go to where our people are or go to where the need is for what it is that we want to contribute. There's a range of opportunities and activities that are presented to us of things we could do. Like we could clean and organize, we could market, we could go out and talk to people, like we could develop new curriculum, we could run an event. There's so many things that we could all do. And which are the things that we so really want to do? I know for me, sometimes I get in a position where for the short term, I'm doing the things that I don't want to do as much. And it's important that I listen to those signals and then I continue to strategize for how I can do more and more of the thing that I really want to do, the thing that does energize me and have me feel joy, because I feel like that is the way to sustainability and to thriving. So I go looking for that for each of you. And that opportunity is to partner with other people that feel so much more energized and so much more joy from doing the other things that we don't want to do and find ways to do it together in community. All right. Yeah, and Goddess or not has something else to share, go ahead. And if we have some feedback on some of the different things or just further comments on the things that we've each shared, feel free. That's all right.
Yeah,
And we
no,
do have a
just,
question
just
in line. Go
oh,
ahead.
do we? Oh, okay. No,
But go ahead.
let's go for the question. No, we're good. Let's
Oh.
have a question. It'll probably come up. I'm good.
All right. But yeah, anyone else? Anything else you want to share? Just anyone from having on the panel from having heard all of us share.
Okay, I'm going to add that one just because it's kind of cool. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, add it.
I was just saying, I was in this training class, and I got a prompt for ChatGPT to do a strategy for, like $100,000 a year membership, a couple other ones. And I actually learned about the ChatGPT in one of the first MeWe fairs I attended from one of the ladies in it, and I downloaded that and I go, that's kind of interesting. So now I have an assistant and I pay her $20 a month. That's what the membership is for ChatGPT. And with these, knowing about the prompts now, I am so stoked on that. But you have to check her for spelling, you have to check her for intonation, you have to check her for a lot of stuff. My ChatGPT's name is Dee Dee. So Dee Dee calls me Radiant Goddess, and I love that. And we have a wonderful relationship. But it is important to embrace all of the technology to make life more graceful, business-wise, to be online. And so if you've got questions about that, yeah, I can hold your hand a little bit, because I used to be totally like, I'm not wanting to have any sort of automation. I want no avatar. I want no part of any of this crazy stuff. I didn't grow up that way, but I'm becoming a lot more discerning. So I'm feeling good about that. I just wanted to add the ChatGPT thing in there because it's kind of cool.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. We can talk a little more about AI too. Satori, did I see your hand up? Did you want to share something?
I don't know if this is appropriate in the panel, but I want to do a shout out to Lorelei, because and it's only Lorelei because it's the only one here I've worked with as me being on the client side. So that doesn't, yeah, I haven't worked with any of you others yet. So because Lorelei did her eye thing on me and it has helped me tremendously to understand myself better. And the part with aligning with your purpose or how you go about things, it showed me how much I like to have fun and other things about myself that are really important, and how I was always looking for the wrong kind of man too. So that was really helpful because it taught me to then, before I had this thing of attraction, well, that was before menopause. I had all these hormones going on and I was always attracted to a certain kind of guy. And now I know when I get that, now I know to recognize. I go like, oh, run, goodbye. And it's really helpful. So I'm that's the shout out.
That's great. Thank you so much. I say, and Goddess Renata, you were sharing about someone sharing about AI in a previous event. That could have been Tiffany. Oh yeah. Who knows?
Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's okay.
Okay, it was Sandra. Maybe Sandra. All right, cool. All right. And let's see. Tiffany has something to share, and then maybe Sandra. I'm not sure if you, yeah, just maybe that was you. Great.
Well, I was just going to say, if you're not utilizing AI for your business, you're falling behind. Um, and you know what? Even I've been using AI for almost 2 years now, and I feel like I'm behind because there's all these new AI apps coming out and more advanced versions than what I had been using. And I'm like, wow, I barely blinked and I'm already feeling behind on the AI game. But if you're not using ChatGPT or Copilot or some of the other apps to help you write your content, you're going to spend, I don't know, 10 times more amount of time or 100 times more amount of time sitting there hand doing it and rewriting. Like Renata was saying, there's prompts that you can use. You can program your AI to speak like you. You can put something that you wrote into there and say, hey, I want you to sound like this, or I want you to be a professional, or I want you to be chatty and friendly. You can pretty much put anything in and program, your content to come out that way. But if you haven't started, get started because you're already behind if you haven't. Not to say you can't get caught up.
Can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Sandra.
I consider myself a master at business plans, making business plans. That's what I was teaching my students at the university. And marketing is not my strength, but I worked with marketing plans. I took my plans that I already had that were working really well, put them into ChatGPT. I was jumping up and down with excitement of things that came in that I hadn't thought about. It just helped me to improve what I was already doing well. And as a person who believes in a big beginner's mind, I was like, yay, I've got so much more to learn and so many different ways to help people, which is what my purpose in life is to do, is to be in service. So that's my 2 cents.
That's great. Thank you. And you'll help me. Who's next? I see Goddess Renata. You've got your hand up. You might.
I gave hearts because like that is so true. So the bottom line to that is like false education appearing real. We have so much fear about things, like, okay, you've got fear. That is the way that is. Let's tap and move beyond that. Even though I'm afraid of this, I think I'll be okay if I learn it. You know what I mean? So I show like, well, go ahead and integrate that wisdom that you have with the things that you know as a in your spiritual practice. If you know how to do EFT or emotional freedom tapping, or don't wait till you do that on a client, you would be your first case. You would be your first client, and become really efficient in keeping yourself in balance and in harmony and a state of love, which is living only valuable experiences. That's a lot if you choose for it to be, or it could be very little if you choose. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any other comments from the panel? And then we will leap into questions. All right. I'm going to put the general information in the chat one more time before we leap in, and then we're going to bring someone up. Oh, yeah. And there are a few things I should say first. Thanks so much for being willing to learn in public, those of you that are willing to share and come up on stage with us. I think this is true anytime you work with someone, and particularly when you do it in public and it's recorded, etc. When you ask a question, oh, and we got someone else joining us. When you ask a question, when we answer, if we go deeper than you want us to go in this format, or we start talking about other topics that you don't want us sharing about here, interrupt us and give us guidance so we stay in this zone with you. This is a great opportunity for all of you to learn from all that's asked and all that's answered. That's part of why you're here. So thanks for being here to do that. And if you have any suspicion that you don't have sufficient insight and consulting advice to give, this is a great opportunity to see how you would answer the question for yourself. Notice what that is, scribble, take notes if you want. And if you want to, when we're done, please allow the attention to stay up on the panel when we're answering questions. Feel free to private chat the person that asked the question and see if they want to hear whatever other insight you had come through you. Please honor whatever they share. They might feel full after hearing back from all of us, just not want any more. And please trust they're doing their best to honor themselves. All right, great. Well, we have Catherine ready to come up. Let's bring you up here and dive into our first question.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
All right. Thanks to all of you for being here and for this program today. I want to work with each and every one of you. But my question today is about outreach and marketing. And I ask that because I figure it's a common topic that everyone can benefit from. At the moment, I am for many, many years a freelance health and medical journalist and a professional book editor. So I have been a solopreneur for almost 20 years. So I've had to market myself and get my own clients. And I've learned to let the universe bring things to me instead of groping and reaching out there. It's been a journey. But I am transitioning right now to take my hobby, a lifelong hobby, as a clairaudient intuitive astrologer. And I've been called to make that part of what I do and my service that I offer to people. And even though I have all that experience as a solopreneur, this is like a whole new game when it comes to metaphysics. And knowing how to position yourself, what to call yourself, and how to put yourself out there. I'm a little spoiled because I lived in Sedona for 20 years, where I had a remarkable supportive community. And I'm in Florence, Oregon now, in a very small town that's very conservative. There's not a large amount of open-minded people here to metaphysics. They are here, they are coming, but it's a whole nother environment. And I do a radio show, a weekly astrology radio show on the local radio station, but I really don't know how to put myself out there as I'm about to start doing readings. A friend of mine has a small healing center here with a room where I can do whatever it is I do. I don't even know what to call it because it's not traditional astrology. It's almost like intuitive guidance to find your soul purpose and your true north. And that part, I'll work with one of you to figure out how to fine tune that. But my question for everyone today is, most people are using Facebook and social media for outreach. And a large part of my community here is not on Facebook. There's an older demographic. It's a retirement community. I prefer to do my readings in person because I can hear better. The clairaudience, I mean, it comes through any time, but when I'm reading someone, it seems to come through stronger when I'm in their energy field. So I would at least like to start out that way. So reaching out just to local community with my services, when you put flyers up, businesses are taking them down. The post office is taking them down. We don't have a central kiosk or location for really marketing your business. I'm part of a local group of solopreneurs that meets a couple of times a month, and they're all talking about how to reach out for their clients and customers. But I just thought I'd run it by all of you. If you were offering a metaphysical service in this town, where would you go to reach out? I mean, we're in a weird time where people aren't paying attention to their emails. You know, I have an email list. I'm amazed how many people aren't reading. I mean, I still think the right ones will come to you and spirit will bring them to you. But would you, I guess you have to do all of the above, a flyer, a Facebook page, but how do you put your website out there? Where are you posting it? Just some general thoughts about that. That's kind of where I'm at with all of that.
Yeah, this is great. And by the way, I want to honor you are already doing a lot. So some of the things that we would tell people to do, you are already doing. So that's great. And do you have a website up now at all? Do you have any You do your radio show, so you must have something for that.
No, I use an online platform at Readsy for my,
Okay.
editorial work
Mhm.
and my
Mhm.
portfolio, but I don't have a metaphysical site yet.
Okay,
That's
great,
on
great,
the docket. Yeah.
great. And then, are you doing this on like itty bitty tiny budget? So we know like what range of where we should tell
Yeah,
you.
it's a
Okay,
small
great.
budget because I'm in my 70s, on
Yeah,
a
great.
limited
And
income. Yeah.
I'll just ask one more question before I hand you off to everyone. I'm sure lots of us are like, we're all like, I have so much to say. Were you at the Pathways to Transformation Fair in Yachats last weekend?
Yes, I was.
Great. Did you have a
I go to
booth
your
or did you
fairs
go?
too in Eugene. No, I didn't have a booth, but I
Okay.
went to see what are people
Mhm,
charging,
mhm,
what are they
mhm.
offering. Don't even know where to begin with what to charge. There's a
That's
lot of
great. That's
legwork.
great. You were doing great steps. That's want to encourage you so much. You're doing really great things. And I just say too for everybody, when we step out to do work that is so much closer to our heart and so much closer to our soul, it can feel that much more vulnerable. And so yeah, even though we have so much confidence from all the other things we've done, new stuff comes up. All right, great. So we've got Goddess Renata and then Jenny and then Tiffany. And all right, I'm going to set my timer. Wasn't doing my timer as much
And
for all of you before.
what's really pushing me right now is that it's in my chart. It's in my
Mhm.
planets to go metaphysical.
It
So
is
I know
time.
I
This
have
is
to do
great.
this.
That's great. So yeah, I'll use and then let's say so totally share for like 3 minutes and as we get to 2.5, my aim is that I'll do this so you have another like half minute to, kind of go ahead and finish your thoughts. And if we have a little time, we'll go back. If we don't have a lot of questions in line, we can go back and share a little more. But please, everyone, this is what supports us to have these panels is if you pay to ask questions. So let's do that. All right, Goddess Renata is first.
So, Catherine, you are doing an awful lot, but I would say the idea of having a metaphysical, because it's just like mental and physical, right? But that old construct is dead. The carrot dangling and come ask me what you think I should do. Again, that's my perception of that whole metaphysical industry. So being able to be a bridge, which is what you are, you're a senior and you're in a community that is, not so much open. You're a bridge, my friend. So start bridging. Every place you go, bridge. So your job is to take it to new places. That is metaphysical. But the woo-wah is not necessary. That's what I call it, the woo-wah. The synchronicity is, you understand that? That's not a mistake. And the resonance is, so plug into the resonant key, open the door. You know how to follow the flow. Now let the flow find you as a bridge and people will cross over. They will cross over and they'll still be in the earth plane, but they'll be more embodied in as above, so below. That's what a lot of us are doing in the communities and why you probably are there, my friend. I mean, that's kind of when I'm feeling that strongly, like you're good to go. Just continue to get rid of the script about the metaphysical and the, like you're writing the books. You could do a pamphlet. You got a group already. Just solidify that by going, oh, I got it right now. Oh, it's right here in front of me because it is the now time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're shaking your head in a lot of that. So I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Jenny is next and then Tiffany and then Satora and then Sandra and then Misan and then me. All right. So we said, yeah, go ahead.
So I just echo everybody acknowledging you for everything that you've worked on and developed and all of that. And you have such wisdom. And I want to just comment on this sense of how special I feel what it is that you're doing is. And sometimes when we don't know what to call something or how to give language to it, it can really help to go out and maybe do a few, you don't want to get in the habit of this, but doing a few free or very low discounted sessions with people and get a testimonial in exchange. Because a lot of times when you see the testimonial, this has definitely happened for me. Sometimes people say things about me and also they've said, so different people sometimes will say the same things about me. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that people thought I was calm, or calming. But it keeps showing up. So that helps you build the some of the text and ways that you want to describe yourself. But you really do have, my intuition is telling me you really do have something very special here. And it's way bigger, like astrology, in my opinion, and my sense, astrology is one of the spokes on the wheel for you. I feel there's going to be, or maybe even already are, other vehicles of expression for this soul that you are, this spirit that you are. And the astrology is one of them, and maybe even going to be a primary one. But just play around with that a little bit and see if there's anything else that might be calling you. And wrapping it up, I will say again, watch what other people are saying about you that's very strength inducing and positive, and just start, especially the ones where you think, wow, people see me as that. I didn't know, because it'll help you so much. And congratulations. It's awesome what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. Great advice.
All right, great. And then we've got Tiffany next.
Okay, Catherine, you have a lot going on and you're doing great. So I want to start with, I took a bunch of notes and I want to start with the actual question you were asking was, how do you get the word out to people who aren't on social media? I wanted to ask you, is it by chance Silver Lining that your friend owns? Is that the shop you're going to do?
No, it's not Silver Lining. She's a very dear friend. She's a great networker. So
Okay.
she has my flyer for my radio show, and she's very supportive. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I have for you for people who are not on social media. Go to Silver Lining Boutique. I know this woman, I've shopped there a whole bunch in Florence, and she let me leave my metaphysical business cards at her front register. So both my
Yeah.
partner and I left business cards. I carry huge packets of extra business cards with me everywhere I go. And you know those spots in the opening of restaurants where people realtors leave their business cards and stuff? Yeah, my cards are going right next to them. And mine is so woo. It's so galactic and starseed. And it's not anything that looks like your traditional cookie cutter professionalism. Yeah, no, my cards are going right next to all of theirs. So all the restaurants we go to, I leave my cards up front. You can also ask for flyers, but cards is small. And most people aren't going to notice that, oh, she just put a metaphysical card next to a realtor card, but the right people are going to see that. So Silver Lining, she is so nice. She'll let you leave flyers and business cards up there. Advertise on your radio show. Also, I was thinking if you had a small graphic on your phone, you could be texting that graphic to all of your friends around town and asking them to share it with a few of their friends. Word of mouth is an excellent way to get, the word out to people who are not on social media, especially if you have a catchy little flyer that they just save it to their phone and they send it to 5 or even 10 of their friends. I mean, I could send a flyer like that to 10 people in a heartbeat. And I bet you a bunch of your friends could too. You had asked about where do we put, once you get a website, where do you put it? You would want to put it on social media. And anybody coming for websites, to me, that is something I would help you with. But Google is also a good place to put your website. So you can have a Google account that shows your metaphysical business. There are people who are looking in the search engines for metaphysical, like intuitive astrology near Florence. So you would want to put those keywords in for your search engine optimization. And then look around town. I would say go to the old Bayfront of Florence. There's a bunch of little shops down there. Go into the bookstore. That guy was very metaphysical. Any of those cute little boutiques, I'd be looking for spots where you can put either a flyer or a card. There was a place that had karaoke down there on the waterfront. I think that would be an excellent place to leave some cards or flyers too. Hope that helps.
Thank you very much. Great idea.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. All right, Satora's next.
So some of what I want to say has already been touched on or has been in the chat, but are there any places where you could give talks? Like a small town often has a lot of organizations. Maybe you could go there and give a talk. Oops.
Yes.
Yeah.
The little healing center where I will have a little studio, she is creating a gathering center, and we plan to give talks. Yeah.
Okay. And a referral program. Somebody mentioned to have get testimonials. You could also offer to your customers a referral program where you give them a discount for every person that they refer. Make sure that you only give them the discount if the person actually gets a session, but that can also be helpful for word of mouth and having your customers help you market you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, Torres. Next, we've got Sandra and then Misan.
I'm just going to echo what everybody has said. Great advice. But I want you to consider that the work he did as on the radio, as a writer, and as an editor are the same as what you're doing as a clairaudient. That they're just different ways. They maybe have a little bit more left brain to them, but it's always in service. You've been in service.
Right.
Clairaudient, and adding that with the astrological and the energies is just enhancing that. It's the same dang thing. So, and I say that because I've been an editor, a professional editor for 30 years of my life, on top of everything else I do. So I was at Pathways with my booth. I don't know if you saw me. I had all the feng shui stuff and the jewelry.
I did see you. Yes, I remember you.
So
Yes.
I invite you to get a hold of her and do that. Also, November 2nd and 3rd in Florence, there's a show. It's a small show at Driftwood Shores, and so I don't know if she's got any space left at all, but I'll be there. And, you know, she'll let you put your flyers down, talk to, what is her name? I've forgotten it now, but it's an international women's wellness show. So check that out and see. And I also
Thank you.
to get some kind of a top or a blouse that has a wonderful, your logo or whatever expresses what you want to do, so that it catches people's attention as you're walking around. Somebody says, "Oh, I love your top." You can just jump in and say, "What's this all about?" I mean, sometimes that's all it takes. Take advantage of the tourists that are there. So if you have a house or you have a place where you can put a sign, a lot of times in my beginning, when I really wasn't stepping into my metaphysical tools, I remember at Glen Eden, and my whole family went to the little bookstore there and had readings and stuff. So there, you can take advantage of the tourists there, not just the locals.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
I'm
thank
not
you.
sure how to reach the tourists, but
We have
you know,
ideas. I got ideas coming on that too.
You have to have some kind of a sign, but having your cards, your flyers out too.
Mhm.
That's how.
Yeah, all the places where Tiffany said, yeah, they'll see them too.
thank
All right,
you.
great. And Misan's got some to share.
Oh, hey, Catherine. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, like everyone said, my idea is the same. And what that worked for me best was really giving people precision in the beginning. And by the way, I live in Sedona right now.
Oh, do you?
And I bet you have lots of friends in Sedona still. Yeah. So the first thing, when I started my business, the first thing I did, I reached out everyone in my contact and told them what I'm doing now. I'm starting new career, and I just asked to help, not like I want to coach you. I asked them, can you help me to practice this? And people was really happy to help. Everyone wanted to help others. And that's how I created my first paying clients, actually. One of my friends, she signed up for 3 months. That's how it worked. But actually, I have a question I want to ask you. What I'm hearing from you is, yeah, like everyone said, you've done a lot already. And I
Mhm.
think you already have a lot of idea how to do it. But I want to like, what's really stopping you to take that action?
Sometimes I think it's our own mental block, our own limitations that says, who here in Florence wants a clairaudient astrology reading? But the fact is, there's probably more people here that are open to that. Oh, what's this? I mean, even a curiosity factor for all of our services. I think somebody mentioned earlier, we have to get over that old thought process. I think it was you, Jenny, or Renata. I think it was you who said, get over the old block, the old script. That's what it was.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, the old story that we are telling ourselves all the time, 24/7. So
Yeah.
first step is to be aware what it is, and then willingness to step back from that story. And I think you have enough power and strength to do that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great. Let's see, got it, Renata. You've got a little bit more to share. Why don't you go ahead and then I'll share afterwards.
Yeah, Catherine, I was just thinking about the first letter in your name, which is that C. It's your success letter. And so creativity. So, get to moving really for that. And when everybody was talking, I thought, oh, she's got a podcast. Like, okay, get some of those seniors on blast. Do some, I almost choked on my food. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. No, that's a horrible idea. But see how you can get people laughing? You're contagious, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
You're contagious, but the old story definitely is blocking you. Like get out of the clairvoyant, intuitive astrologer thing. Like that story isn't working for you. It never did. Drop it like it's hot. You understand? Drop it like it's hot.
Yep, I gotcha.
Okay, yeah, drop it like
And
it's
by
hot.
the way, my astrology name is Cassandra, so it's got the C.
There you go. There you go. Like,
Cassandra.
Cassandra. And you're bridging most definitely like the rainbow bridge, like the multi-dimensional, multicultural, multi-age, multi-sensory bridge. You could fit anywhere because you have, like Sandra was saying, you have the corporate background. So like, what nursing homes and seniors need. Go do a little program, offer to do a podcast. You know what I mean? So like use the tools you have like right now. Because you've done the
Okay.
deep dive. You've done the deep dive. So now it's like fruit plate. What feels good?
Okay.
What makes a good arrangement?
Yep. Thank you. Great advice.
All right, great. Let me see. I've got a whole list of things. Where to start? Well, let's see. So a simple, inexpensive way of getting a website up would be to do a link tree. If someone hasn't said that already.
Link tree is good.
And then I would go
I'm
looking
not sure
for
what that is, Lorelei. What's a link tree?
Tiffany, I think this is one of the things you know better even than I do. Do you want to say what Linktree is? And I can say if you don't. Yeah, you want me to say, okay. Just it's linked, it's like it's tr.ee or something. If you look up Linktree, you'll find it. And it's a
it's an
site that
actual
lets
site.
you it's a site and you can just build a really, really simple thing. So you can just say a little bit about what you do, if there are sessions people can get, if there are classes they can get, how they pay you. Like it's just a very little
Okay.
thing, doesn't have to manage graphics. You can do a very simple free one, but you could do a nicer one with not much money. And you
Okay,
can build it
thank you.
yourself. It's really pretty easy, or someone can walk you through in just a few minutes.
Sure.
So, and I
Thanks.
would go looking for a URL, and you're going to have a name for what you're doing. And just one of the phrases that you said that really stood out for me was find your true north. And so it's too long as an URL, but find your true north astrology actually is available. That's too long.
True North Astrology, maybe something like
that one's gone, but yeah, but so
Oh,
it's play
yeah.
around with different things. And so look for a URL. You get the URL that
Right.
just points to your link tree. Right? So that you
Okay.
can use your URL and things and people can still find you and get all the stuff. And it's really, really simple to make. So, and I agree with what others said about how you have locals and you also have tourists, and the tourists will be looking at some social media, and also locals sometimes look at it, but they might not tell you they do. So I have ways of doing ads that are very, very inexpensive, and Facebook keeps eliminating the terms in our space. However, they still have astrology as a term you can use for who you target your ads to. So you can still identify people that are interested in astrology and send, I'm talking about itty bits of money. Like you could do, $12 ad, $12 here and experiment with things. I think that it would still get you people, and you can test this and find out what works. So once you have the link tree up where you have a place to send them.
Sure.
And people need multiple touches before they make a decision. So doing a lot of these different things, and over time, they will all help you.
Okay.
For me, it's been, and you seem very social. So if you haven't had lots of local practitioners of all sorts on your show, that's a great way to market, because if they share about the show too, that's the way you're getting out to all their people. So it's local, so you're tending to get to people that will be in person. I've done very well offering all kinds of classes, low-cost classes and free events. I've done community potlucks where I do samples for people, do a panel with a few, a couple other practitioners that you enjoy, make it really low cost or free to come, like do all those things so people get to know you in this area. Someone kind
Okay.
of made a reference to this, and you can go back and listen to the recording. Sorry, I'm going quickly. Tell everyone you know what you're doing. So then notice where the edges are up and where you feel uncomfortable sharing. Share with everyone. If this works in your town, you could actually do a car wrap. So someone said something else that made me think about that. So you could get a wrap that basically a sign on your car. When you feel settled in with your marketing and you really like what the name is and a tagline or something like that, you can have it on your car. So everywhere you go, people see it. Let's see, what did I want to go up and down the coast? So you can do the ads not just in Florence, but you can do some up and down the coast. So go to the towns not just in Florence, go up and down the coast. Like Yachats has a cafe where you potentially could put stuff. And sometimes it's worth paying a little, paying a store a little bit so you can put something up. There might
Right.
be a local town, somewhere locally in town at a great corner where your people are allowed to have signs. You could pay the store to have a sign out. You can easily get, like relatively inexpensive signs that go up. I have a meetup group in Eugene where you could post, because people will come out to the coast for things. I have a Oregon Coast Facebook group that I admin where you can post things. And there are people on there. If you have a local paper or there's an Oregon Coast the Oregon Coast activity guides are usually too expensive, but if there is a local paper, sometimes there's an itty bitty teeny ad that you can buy that goes in there that people will see. Yeah. There
All
you go.
great ideas.
Lots of
Thank you.
things. You're welcome. Oh yeah, and own how long you've been doing this. So when you are starting to advertise it with people, don't just talk about how it's a new business. Talk about how you've been doing this for so many years.
Been studying it since I was 15.
Yeah, so really own that.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
And spend lots of time with lots of practitioners. Oh, and I would recommend, if there isn't anything like this in town, create some sort of social group, a support group just for local practitioners. Like host everyone for a potluck. That's how all these MeWe fairs started. They really were just social
Right.
events for
Yeah.
practitioners. I used 2 extra minutes. Anyone else have anything else to share? Go ahead, Satora.
So this is about the energetic mindset, emotional side of things. Like Goddess Renata said, let go of that old. I want to add to that, focus on the new. Think about how you want this to go. Who is the Catherine or the Cassandra that is successful? Just put yourself in there, imagine that, think about it. So how does your day go? How many friends do you have? Do you have a team? How much money do you make? All these things, and write it down or draw it or whatever works for you. I just made a recording about my wonderful life and I keep listening to it. So that's something you could do, that you also just energetically put your focus to where you want to be, because for that person, the new Cassandra, the new Catherine, the successful Catherine, for her, all the things you need to do to get there is just her reality catching up. She's looking
Right.
from there. But if you look from the stressed out, oh God, what do I do now, Cassandra? It looks like a giant, difficult, maybe impossible task. But if you go there, it's already done and you can look back. So energetically, you put yourself in a much better place.
I love that. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
think that's the most powerful. The others are steps, but being in the right energy and mindset is the most important.
And you can also energetically connect with your clients first before you take all these steps.
Great.
Thank
All
you. This
right.
has all been so valuable. I hope it's helping other listeners because we all need to understand how to reach out and touch people. I mentioned on my radio show last week that with Uranus in Gemini, it is opening metaphysics to the masses. People are really groping and looking for wisdom right now because a lot of systems aren't working. So we are really going to see a renaissance of metaphysics with Uranus in Gemini. So I share that for all of you, for
That's
what
great.
each of you does. Yeah.
Godfrey would like to sneak in a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, you're right, all of you. The time for carrot dangling is over. Eat the carrot and expand your own vision. That's and the prescription writing, like you do this, like, no, that's not efficient. And we all get that disclosure. We're all noticing that. And true, being a bridge helps you hold people's hands and support them as they choose to walk across. Choice
Well,
being the option. Yeah.
thank
That's a
you,
powerful
everyone,
thought.
so much.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for
Appreciate it.
asking a
Thank you.
question that serves you and serves everyone. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting us. All right. Happy to have you in the community.
That
All
was
right.
nice.
Thanks,
That was
everyone. Yeah, that was fun. All right. Let's see. I know we have a question from A. We might have some more questions coming in too. A, did you want to come up on screen?
while she's coming up, you could digitize those notes. You could digitize those notes and make those available for people that were not able to attend, and a small fee for the digitized notes or a PDF.
Let's see.
Just saying.
Oh, someone wants your contact info, Catherine, so they can promote you when they're out there on the coast. Okay, let me text who's next and see if they're ready to come up. I don't know if they want to come up. I'm guessing they're coming up, but I'm being anonymous in case if you want to be anonymous, you got to let me know so I don't mention your name on air, everybody. Oh wait, I'm getting a comment back. Okay. And anyone, if you'd like to ask a question, we would love to answer your question. It is sliding scale. I'm putting the information in the chat again so you can see how to pay. You can pay by PayPal or Venmo. Oh yeah, okay, they weren't sure it was them. All right, great. And you want to come up on stage, right? Okay,
Yep.
great. Here you are.
Okay, hi
Alrighty.
everyone. So I got a little bit of help with this from last night's fair. Actually, one of the participants in the room helped me with this, and I'm looking for more guidance if possible. I'm struggling with self-doubt. I'm an intuitive practitioner and animal communicator, and it's gotten to the point where I don't even want to book clients right now. I'm not doing social media. I'm not being open about who I am to people I meet. I'm like very closeted in the metaphysical spiritual space again. And I was just wondering if anyone got or has advice or guidance or intuitive hits on working through that self-doubt. I was able to get an energy clearing or emotional clearing with this, but I also want to know what else I could be doing or if there's practical tips or intuitive tips. Sorry for rambling. I hope that makes sense.
You're not rambling at all. You did say a bit about what you do, and you didn't say specifically maybe the specialty that you have. Could you say it? I think having it out and you voicing it would be supportive of you too.
Okay, so what I like to do is intuitive imagery reading, where I get images, and then from those images, I provide the meaning or the interpretation for them. So, for instance, like it's really basic, but like if I get an image of a crab, then that could mean like the person has a hard exterior, but inside they're soft and they're unique and special, and that maybe it's something about needing to work through the harder exterior right now so that they can share their softness with the world, their butteriness. So it's stuff like that, but it's catered to each person, of course. It's not broad, like a crab doesn't always mean that for everybody, but that's kind of the flavor of it is the intuitive imagery. And then, like I said, the animal communication too.
And usually with the person's question, you get several different images, and then you say briefly what you interpret them each as, right? So your intuitive meaning of what they all are.
Yeah.
And I guess then I'm kind of leaning into my answer, but how do people respond to your sessions? How have they responded in the past?
quite positively or very intrigued and wanting to sometimes having repeat sessions, but mostly overall positive and just like enjoying it or feeling that there was gems that were received, things like that. So yeah, I haven't had bomb, oh my gosh, everyone's just saying no to everything I say, but like I have that high intensity of that worry.
So it says that it's a worry of a bad outcome
Yeah.
is a big thing that gets in your way.
Yes. And I don't focus on the positives that have occurred. I don't own the positives that have occurred. I focus so much on the negatives or the what ifs.
And I just asked you about your positives and you shared them. Did you notice that you owned them brilliantly there?
Well, here I did.
That's great. So thank you for exercising that muscle and doing that with us today. All right, let's see. We've got Tiffany, Jenny, and Goddess Renata ready. By the way, so some of you that are newer in the community don't know, yeah, and Satora is wanting to go too. Anissa has been a huge part of having this whole community exist. She supported me for many years. Well, thank you so much, Anissa, and then for developing your gifts while you're at it. All right, so Tiffany.
What I'm getting is something related to your young self, age 3, 4, 5. There's something buried underneath the surface that you still need to heal in relation to those ages. And it's fear of being seen. It's going back to the relationship you had with either your parents, caregivers, whoever you were around. I don't know if your parents, left you babysat with someone but there's some part of you that wants to hide. And that's not just in the now. That's buried in your subconscious. I'm still seeing a number 3 and a 4. So something that happened age 3 or 4, you need to figure out what it is. And I had to do this myself. I had to call my mom and be like, okay, what happened when I was 3? Did you leave me anywhere? Did something traumatic happen? Can you tell me what was happening in your world during this time period? And I was able to trace it to my mom and dad went on a trip to Hawaii and left me for the first time with grandparents. And there was some traumatic things that happened, but I had no memory of age 3. So I had to go to my mom, or you could ask aunts or uncles or anyone, but there's something buried in your subconscious that's relating to fear of being seen that traces back to your early childhood. That was the first thing that came up for me. And I had to go and retrieve my lost parts of myself. And this is something I can help you with if you want help. I had a traumatized part of myself that was still there. And I astral traveled and recovered that part of myself. I asked her what she needed. I asked her if she was ready to merge with me and come home with me, and said, look at how old we are now. I just turned 43 yesterday on the Lionsgate, and I was like, I'm 43 now, and I will protect you. So whatever happened with your inner child, let her know how old you are now and that you're going to protect her from anything that, may have happened in the past. Okay, hope that helps.
Would you like validation about that age and why it's impactful, or no?
Sure.
My dad started to get terminally ill when I was 3, and he passed away when I was 5.
Okay, there it is. So that 3-year-old is still afraid, of losing the parent. That's a huge thing to have happen at that age. And that part of yourself still feels traumatized by that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sending you so much love.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. All right, Jenny is next.
Hello there. Thanks for asking your question. So I got a couple of things. The words internal and external struck me, and really, I love what Tiffany said. It's absolutely spot on. And what I mean by internal and external is that while you're processing some of these things, like Tiffany was talking about, there's things that you could be doing that give you a sense of progress and moving forward, but they're not so externally facing where you have to be more extroverted or direct, etc. For example, out of the blue, when I was listening to you, I got this download that you could either write like a book or some kind of downloadable extensive PDF that you could sell on someplace like Etsy. And it would have some of, it's almost like, you know, those really cool books where they're dream interpretation books that are out there on the market. I saw you having a book or a PDF, whatever it was, in the form of some of the work that you could draw. And of course, you know, this would be something that you could mark and say, hey, these are general interpretations, everybody's unique and all that. If you would like a personalized session with me, you know, I would be glad to do that for you. So the book or the PDF of whatever you document, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to keep, as I mentioned, to keep moving forward, but it's a more internalized process that helps you while you're kind of retrieving some of these, either one or more of the soul parts, if that makes sense.
Yes. Just taking notes, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Good for you.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jenny. Next, we've got, did someone put their hand down? I have Satora Misan and Goddess Renata. Is that right? Okay, Satora.
So first, Anissa, I want to acknowledge that you are very courageously here in front of everybody, very vulnerably sharing, and you have tremendous courage here to do that. And so that is in you, and the ability to put yourself out there is in you. You can tap into that. And I agree about the healing of that tremendous trauma in your childhood. And besides that, do you have anybody in your life who can go that journey with you, that maybe is also creating a business? Actually, I'm looking for a partner. Come to think of it, that you can encourage each other and have some sort of accountability about, you know, deciding to do small steps as has been suggested, and encourage each other. Also, did you get testimonials from the people that you did readings for? That would be really great. Asking for testimonials and get their feedback. I also get it in writing, and then you can also read it yourself if you need to. And there is a practice I do every night. I got that from the book, Dan Sullivan book, where I write down 3 wins every evening. 3 wins and you get to define what a win is. Even if something went wrong, but you learned something from it, it is still a win. Or 3 things that you did great about yourself or that you're grateful for, but mostly the wins. So to train our mind, because it's so negatively focused that it's not just you, it's like a human condition, to focus on the positive, also to reinterpret things as positive, like and really focus in and celebrate the actual easily recognizable positive things, but then also see where something that maybe at first by default looking at it doesn't look so positive, but hey, I learned something, I got something out of this. So to see what you got out of it, so to generally get a more positive outlook. Okay, my time's up.
Thank you, Satora.
You're welcome.
All right, great. Misan is next.
Yeah, first of all, I want to acknowledge you to show up, being so authentic, honest, and vulnerable. It takes a lot of courage. So thank you for showing up this way. And I agree what Tiffany shared, the inner child work, and that wasn't my first journey of my spiritual journey, my healing work. And I did it like at least 1 year. I did journaling every night, really, literally every night. I talked to my inner child, so having conversation with my inner child, like a calling name. Hi, Misan, how are you doing? Actually, it took, I don't remember exactly how long it took, but she didn't respond in the first place. I just kept talking to her. I mean, that was like when I was probably 29, something like that. So until then, I never worked on anything inner work. I didn't know anything about spirituality. And that was my first time. So my inner child was just ignored in my whole life. So she was so upset, so angry. She was scared. She couldn't trust me. So she didn't show up for a while. I had to keep talking to her every day. And then once she started to talk, all of accumulated emotion came up. Like first thing came up was grief. It's a huge, huge grief. I had to cry every night, screaming, crying. Sometimes I had to leave the house because it's too loud for neighborhood. So I'm just drive to the highway, stopping sideway, and I was crying in the car, screaming in the car, that kind of a thing. So that's one thing I did. And then after grief was a little bit released, next one was anger. Anger came up, like, how could you do this to me? Like, you never took care of me, like you don't care about me, things like that. So that right now, I mean, I'm still sometimes a child comes up, in me, like 5 years old, 6 years old, who was really traumatized at the time. And now I'm really like, it's easy to handle her. I just because I have my son, he's 5 years old, and it's exactly same. I see that more and more. There is the little girl in me, like it's just like exactly my son. So I'm doing like, even though I can be annoyed by my son, but my love for him never ever changes. So that's what I'm telling my son. When I'm getting upset, he's asking, "Mommy, you don't like me anymore?" then, then I'm telling him like, "No, I sometimes don't like your behavior, but my love for you never ever changed. Nothing can change that. So don't worry about it." And I'm doing exactly the same thing to my inner child, just accepting that feeling. Like, I know you are upset right now. I know how you feel. You feel abandoned, or you feel ignored. You feel invisible. You feel disrespectful. Like, I understand. That's okay. That's totally okay. But I'm not gonna let you run my life. But you can be here with me. I can just, yeah, I embrace that my inner child completely.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. And Goddess Renata.
I sent hearts on that one. Absolutely. Mama, that was my little girl inside, So I am not making light of what you're going through, but all of the things that everybody is sharing, if you could just embrace the choice to recognize that it's okay to go there. So embrace to erase. And it's like a little puppet show. Like, you know what? I so appreciate you. Thank you for showing me, but we're not doing that today. It is kind of an awareness of your internal dialogue. I heard you say, with articulating awareness, I doubt myself. When you can articulate the action, you can choose differently. It's not about fault, but it is about what you choose across the board, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that small talk, that's where you have 24/7, 365 control over what you allow in. So, new life script, it's a puppet show. Don't be afraid. Embrace that part of you that doubts. Okay, I understand. Doubt is a part of it. We're good, but we're still moving forward. Oh, okay. And I still love you. Oh, okay. See? It's like when you can bring laughter into it right now, you're real serious. Your whole face is thank you. You got the pretty hair and the nails and you look good. And you're like way serious about this trauma you got going on. You're okay. Coming out of the womb is trauma.
Mm.
Being here as a star seed is traumatic. Learning in Earth School is what it is. And so we've all agreed to be bridges. So bridge your stuff, and you can take a long time to bridge it, and you can loop with it if you'd like, or you can choose to just jump over. That's what's going on right now, Arissa. That's apps, and then not beating yourself up for it. Like, I said enough, you know. And ground all the tools that you have, ground this energy that's being plugged in for you. You're getting confirmation over and over. I would be surprised if I see you in another day and you ask the same question. Thanks.
Thank you.
We have a few more shares from Tiffany and then Sandra.
Okay, so I loved what Misan was saying, and I wanted to add just a couple things. So sometimes when I have emotions come over me, like where there's self-doubt or there's fear, there's a couple questions that I ask myself. One, is this mine? Is what I'm feeling right now mine? And if I hear no, the first thing I'm going to ask is there a spirit attached to me? Because you know what? We're beautiful beings full of light, and spirits that aren't in physical bodies are attracted to that light, and they will also be attracted to the traumas that you're carrying. So if there's a spirit attached to me, the first thing I'm going to say is thank you for clearing any spirits attached to me. And I usually go to Archangel Michael, but you can ask Source, angels, whoever, Jesus Christ, whoever you believe in, that's probably totally fine. If it's not a spirit, then do I have someone else's emotions attached to me? I went to dinner a couple nights ago with a whole bunch of family members. There was like 7 children, there were 6 adults, and on the drive home, I asked if I was clear, and I heard no. First thing I did was thank you for clearing this person's energy off of me. Thank you for clearing that person's energy off of me. And by the time I had acknowledged each person, I heard inside my mind, you're clear. Okay, cool. I took everybody's energy and emotions and it was all attached to me. I had nieces and nephews climbing on me like a jungle gym. I was playing and, carrying them around the house and stuff. And so, yeah, I had all of their energy attached to me. And then my sister-in-law, was frazzled because we were coming to her house and she was worried about it being clean. And I sat there and had conversations with her. So I had to clear each person's energy off of me on the drive home. So if you hear that it is yours, and it's not a spirit or someone else's emotions, but it is actually yours, the question you ask is, how old am I? Yeah, how old am I? And when you look at your inner child, I would tell you to phrase it as inner children. Each age that you've lived is an inner child part of yourself. So is it my 3-year-old inner child? Is it a 17-year-old inner child? There are different time periods throughout my life where I was traumatized, and I have to acknowledge each of those parts of myself. So the last thing I want to say to you is take your right hand and tuck it under your left armpit and then close it. Now take your other hand and put it across your shoulder. You are now hugging yourself. Hug your inner children, rock back and forth. This is needed. It's very much needed. My therapist actually showed this to me one day, and even as a coach, people are surprised when they hear me say I have a therapist. Yes, I meet with my therapist every week. That we all need that. Like we can be there for everyone else, but we also have to first and foremost take care of ourselves. So when you have an emotion come up and you know that it's yours and it's one of your inner children, I want you to do this and hug yourself and ask that part of yourself, what is it that you need to feel better? If it's words of encouragement, give that to her. If it's something else, follow through with whatever it is and say, I've got you. I'm the parent now. I will take care of you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tiffany. Sandra's next.
Wow, you've gotten such good information. I only want to add 2 things to this is that clearing yourself of your stuck emotions, clearing yourself of your traumas. Also go to clear generational traumas and past life traumas. Any of that stuck emotion can come. It's not just this lifetime, it's other lifetimes that can still be there that need to be cleared. And the second thing I want to say is, if as you release, letting the tears go, because it is so important to let go of that pain, that grief, that suffering, that trauma, and then just laugh. Scientists have said over and over and over, I've tried to look for the exact research, but it takes approximately 400 times to change a behavior. But with laughter and play, you can do it in 10 to 12. Excuse me.
Seconds.
Yeah. So the more joyful you can be, even after you've just cleared all this grief and emotion, you've been crying and crying, then go to joy so that it really solidifies that in your heart and your soul and allows you to own that on all the levels possible. Okay. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you.
Great. And I'll share a little bit. I really like the direction that Tiffany was going, and just from the past conversations with you, I'd play with it a different direction also. So I think that, and tell me if this is true, like part of the belief in there is like somehow you believe that it's your fault that your dad was sick.
Mm.
Right? And so I was thinking about what would it take for you to not believe it's your fault. And so first, so when we've done a little of this before, I think about your cat, right? You know that your cat is good, right? You still know that your cat is good, and we've played with that. And so what I was thinking is you might go back in ages. So we know like at 3 and 4, right? There's some way that you took in a belief that it was your fault. And I was wondering about going backwards. So when you're a little baby being born, like are some of the things that happened, and even that your dad got sick, like do you still feel that carrying that somehow it's your fault?
Mm.
And so go different ages, go back, it might be 1, 2, 1, being born, go back to when you're a fetus inside your mom, and it might not be your dad, but maybe there are other things that you blame yourself for. So going back in time, go back to when you're just an egg, right? You're an egg or you're sperm. Like, is it still their fault? Like, and find some place going back in your lineage where you really know it's not my fault yet, even if you just got to the, where you don't associate that fault with you.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah. And then I've known some people that believe that if they worry that they'll have better outcomes. Do you think that you do that?
I tell myself that that's the case. That I'm coming up with all the different options and catastrophizing, so I know how to deal with it when it arrives, because I've already thought of all the worst case scenarios. Like, yeah, it's very busy.
So I know people that very much believe that if they don't worry, they're not taking steps to have a good outcome. So there are things to do with playing with shifting that belief, right? Looking around at all the other people that are not doing that worrying and they still have good outcomes, and like there's a bunch of stuff. And again, this is like, where's this from? Is it from you? Is it from somewhere else? So there are all these different things around that. And I was just wondering, did you learn some of this too? So we know like your inspiration second and the tendency to take everything on. How was your mom with blaming herself? How's your dad was he with blaming himself? Like, did you learn this from watching others also?
Okay.
Right. And then I liked what, I can't remember now who this was. Was it Satora maybe? Someone was suggesting that you list some good things that happened during the day. Maybe it was Goddess Renata, I don't remember who this was. So I think not only listing some good things that happen, because that helps you raise your upper limit so that you can stay connected to the positive, and build the number of seconds, the number of minutes that you can stay in positive things. I don't know that you're ready to say it's your fault that a good thing happened. But what if you just could list off some things that you were associated with where good things happened?
Okay.
Right? You were around when it happened, you didn't get in the way of it, and then maybe you were part of having things come through you that had this good thing happen. So how you can start associating yourself with good things happening. So we play with fault in the other direction.
Okay.
Great. And then Tiffany's got a little bit more, and Goddess Renata's got a little bit more. And we currently don't have anyone else in the line. So if someone else is wanting to ask a question, it's your time to get in here while we've got more time. Go ahead, Tiffany.
I just had this like light bulb moment when Lorelai was talking. Even before you mentioned Lorelai, how was your mom on the self-blame? I was just instantly like, oh my gosh, were those feelings even yours? Back then, when you felt that, you were age 3, 4, 5 years old. I would bet money that you were feeling as an empath someone else's emotions, whether it be your mom, your dad, a combination of that. I have a journal entry from second grade that said I wished I didn't have to live. And
Oh,
I didn't know. I thought my whole life that that was mine. And it wasn't until this last year that I realized I was feeling my mother's emotions. She was depressed, laying in bed, not getting out of bed, severe clinical depression. I was feeling her emotions and thought they were mine even as a child. And I carried that with me my whole life until I realized that wasn't even mine. So I would urge you to investigate that a little bit more. Were those feelings of thinking it was your fault, were they even yours? Or
okay.
were you carrying someone else's emotions and then adopted that as yours?
Okay.
Great. Thanks. And Goddess Renata now has a little bit more.
Right on, Miss Tiffany, for sure. And as you become willing and allow, the journey doesn't have to take as long as maybe, it took some of us to figure out where the checkpoints were. So you can take the highlights. Oh, when stuff feels a little bit odd, a little bit off. You do know when you feel a little bit off, like you're, not centered. That's your cue. You're good enough, and you can start integrating at that point. Do you do EFT, emotional freedom tapping?
I've learned about it, but I've never practiced it regularly.
If we've got time, we could practice it now. All of us could do it with you because we can surrogate totally. If you're into it, I mean, that's one of my fortes in that adapting techniques that I can utilize for myself on the fly and then showing clients, friends, family how to do that. It's rather amazing because once it's out in consciousness, you can shift it. The energy is there. We're talking about plugging into, Sandra talked about you're clearing your, past lives and your ancestral lineage. When you clear that, you rapidly bring everybody forward with you. Do you understand that?
Mm,
So you're a stand-in for all that was and all that is to become. And so that's what you're making a choice. So it's like when people say, be conscious, be in your now, that's what we're talking about. Like, be you now. And so resolve the conflict. That's what I would do. The karate chop here, even though I'm in conflict about this. Huh, interesting. I never thought about all those other things like, my childhood and trauma and, oh, trauma. Interesting about that trauma. Really? I I'm not sure I even want to look at that right now. I mean, I can sit and kind of, take my notes and yeah, but it can't be time for that now, can it? I mean, really? I could release like all of that just by deciding it's time to move on? You mean I'm a choice with any of this? Oh, that right there feels that right there feels just a little bit better. I mean, like, okay, bring on. Let's see how good this can get. Okay. When you take yourself from, I'm here, even though, but I'm kind of feeling like I kind of want to go here, you're clearing your nervous system. That's what the tapping does, works down the front line of the stomach meridian, so it clears. And because there's no distance with anything, once you choose as a divinely centered being, you are the commander of the energy. It's an awesome power, and it takes a bit to get used to it. It doesn't mean that you're just aligned
mhm.
and you get to choose. And, if the fear is helping you choose a little, embrace the fear, but you can go over that. You can use that as a tool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking, Satora, about some of the different postures and gestures and things that you've shared at times, and that there probably are some that would help with this. But I think, like Anissa, that's why I think having these tools and working simultaneously with like the belief that anxiety is helpful, or that like that there's something something fundamentally wrong with you, essentially. Like this, you got to be working on that too, because all these tools, you won't let them work, you won't do them, you'll like go right back to the other stuff. And so you got to work on the belief that there's a set of core beliefs, and one of them is like that I'm fundamentally flawed, and it just feels like there's a yeah.
Yeah, the unworthiness.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to burden the part of you that already holds so much. So only if it's helpful. Like imagine the energy, like the energy portal or the portal that you are in the world for what's here, and that if you don't support yourself in exploring this and letting this shift for you, like that there's more negative stuff that you bring in.
Mm.
Like you're responsible not only for you, but the impact of so much around you. If that helps nudge you towards like letting more stuff go.
Mm.
Yeah. Don't want it to be a burden. Yeah. I know you from over all the years that we could have throngs and throngs and throngs of people that talk about the positive impact that you are. And, maybe sure there'd be a few cranky people just because they're cranky people with you. But like everybody loves you. Yeah, pout. You could just pout at that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll try to receive that.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and letting us support you. Thanks for exploring this about yourself. I hope that you feel okay that our answers were all about you and not so much about like imposter syndrome with specifically your talent.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
You're so welcome. All right. Don't want to make Anissa shy, but we love her so much. I'll say me and just all these other people that I know that love her so much. All right. I'm not aware of anyone else that's in line with a question. Does anyone else want to ask us a question? It can be about your business, about your practice, about a business that you might have, anything like that. It could be off topic because clearly we talk about all kinds of things. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, so the online fair prepping you for the panel today. It's great. Yeah. And if we don't have anyone in line for questions, and if a question comes in, we will jump right over to that. If we have some general things, we could say some general things about a question that came in earlier, and that was something about next steps. Let me go see where that was. Oh yeah, by the way, Catherine, did you see someone in the chat mention senior communities wanting activities? Just want to make sure you saw that. And the question was, oh, I have so much in the chat. It was about next steps and what guides people to the next transition. Yeah, so how do people know? How do people know what their next steps are? How do they write guidance to the next transition? If we had any general things about that, we could share that. Go ahead, Sandra.
One of the things that has really helped me is embodying the belief that I'm a spiritual being. That's who I am. This physical body is temporary. And all the other past lifetimes, all that stuff from other generations is virtual reality. It's not real anymore. So letting go of it. Sometimes in the early days of my journey, wondering about the next steps, where I should go, how I should do this, it just kind of felt overwhelming, that I had all this stuff I had to get cleared and done and whatever. When I realized that I already have all the information, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, everything, it's already there. I just have to remember it. And in remembering it, in accepting it as my birthright, as who I really am, the next steps just appear. It becomes so much easier. I don't have to go here and do all of this work and all of this training. And then yet again, I'm going through the cycle of, oh, that I thought I already cleared that in my life, and here it is again in another form. And it doesn't mean that that won't happen, because I'm still in a physical body here in this world of duality. However, it's remembering who I am, that I have all the information, and regardless who I'm working with, doing whatever, it's me remembering it. And in that remembering, I accept it and I make the shift, I make those changes. So that's it.
Great. Yeah. Anyone else have anything they want to share about guidance towards next steps, making it through next transitions, to and through next two transitions? Go ahead,
Can I-
Satora. Yeah, go ahead.
I just realized my energy in my brain went, so I'm gonna sign off. Thank you, everybody. This has been great. And thanks for asking questions. It's been a great experience. And I just want to repeat that I'm raffling off 5 15-minute laser focus sessions with Amaris. That's a reading. And you can email me at team@amaris.com. Maybe I'll just leave that screen up.
And spell it. Yeah, okay, that's right. It's right there for everybody. They can see on your screen. That's right.
Yeah, and I'll just disappear and leave my screen up or something like
And
that.
just say again in general what you offer for people.
I'm a channel, a energy healer, a spiritual mentor, and helping other healers in the widest sense of the word, with their own self-care. Like Tiffany said, we all need somebody. So we can be here for you, help you with your transformation, your self-care, re-energize, and also be more effective with your own work while having more energy for yourself.
That's great. And that's your website too, mres.com.
Yeah, but it's not updated.
It's not up at the moment. Okay.
It's kind of outdated at the moment.
It's all right. All right. Thank you so much, Satora, for being here with us. Deeply appreciate you being here.
You're welcome. Thank you all. It was such a pleasure being with you. Bye.
Bye, Satora. All right. And Tiffany's got a little bit to share.
Actually, I was going to ask if you would repeat the question and if there was any context for it.
Yeah, so someone that wasn't paying had a general, so I said we could answer the general question. They what is general guidance that we give people? Is how do they find out what their next steps are? And or how do they have guidance to and through the next transitions that are there for them?
So would that be like leaving a 9-to-5 job and moving into a spiritual role, or next steps of what?
We can take whatever we want with it. Like, I'll give you an example of something that occurs to me. And yeah, Satora, I'm glad you put your thing back up. Okay, great. So something that gets in people's way often when they're wanting to go to a next step is they might have so many ideas, they have no idea what to do. And they're just going bing, 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 bing. So an example of a strategy for working with that is physically put yourself in a sumo position, like a sumo wrestler. So you get really grounded in here. And in my experience, that really clears the mind. So anyone that wants to just try that anytime, your mind is going blah, 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 so drop. And then in terms of a project, if you then bring that project to mind consciously, you can take steps forward in the sumo position. And often it leads to greater clarity and practicality about what's next. And then on the other side, if someone is blank and has no idea what's next. I guess one other thing too, if one does a bracing with one's arms, gets more blood back up to the head, then the brain might be able to be more creative. And particularly to open up creativity, I recommend doing things like Byron Katie turnarounds in a really playful way. Like, I'm I'm never going to speak in front of groups, never, and exaggerate it and play. Or that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to speak in front of groups. Like anything you come up with, just say it extremely in all different kinds of directions. And to loosen things up, whatever hand you typically write with, start writing with the other hand and draw or take notes or just to get the brain going. And then another thing is, what was I thinking of? But just anything playful. So just go play. So if you have no ideas at all and stuck, talk to other people, just play, go do something goofy and play. Like all kinds of things will help open up creativity and options. So yeah, so for each of us, any general ideas we have about finding next steps and going to next step. If you have anything
So
like that.
if I still have the floor, I guess I'll
Go
go
ahead.
back to my earliest notes of what I was saying in the very beginning of our panel tonight is first go to your brand clarity. You may not know what your brand is, but who are you? What kind of clientele do you want to work with? Where would you like to see yourself? That's where I would start is, you know, what are your strengths? Are your strengths talking with people? You know, bringing out your metaphysical gifts. Do you see yourself as maybe being a potential coach? Perhaps investigate looking at life coaching classes. Udemy is an excellent site for getting certifications for life coaching. There's also channeling classes. If you look at the About section on my website, you can see there's dozens and dozens of classes. A lot of those were Udemy. And that would just give you an idea of some of the classes that are even out there. Then start thinking about how you'd want to be seen. So, who are you? What type of clientele do you want to work with? What are your strengths? How would you like to show up for the world?
Great,
I could
thank
keep
you.
going if you want, but
Oh,
it's really going to depend on what your field is going to be, on how you would, what kind of next steps you would take. Maybe start brainstorming a business name, or if you can narrow it down to one main type of offering that you'd like to give, start brainstorming what kind of names would be good for going with that. I mean, those are just some stepping stones to even start thinking about, moving out of a 9 to 5 into a metaphysical venture. We'll see what others have to say, and maybe I'll pipe in a little bit more.
that's great. If anyone has any other general topics like this, feel free to put them in the chat as we're going around. We have Goddess Renata and then Misan.
I would add to just doing a little more exploration, like inwardly. Have you ever discovered human design? Human design is pretty cool. And so learning what your type is, like how you roll in life. Um, I considered myself to be a little bit flaky because every 10 years I would learn something new. And that's how I learned all these things, just because I would get bored with it and I'm on to the next thing. Well, then I found out about my human design and like manifesting generator. Okay, that so makes sense. And then I just had the freedom to, like Laurel, we were saying, like play a little bit, just allow yourself to be, allow yourself to not let go, allow yourself to be in fear about it, allow yourself to be in transition. It's okay, because honestly, you've got to know we're choosing always 365, 24/7. So this is illusionary. Be in it, but not of it. I mean, we're solid, but on the consciousness level, when people are talking about ascension, it's the merging on the inside. It's the ascension of who you always were when you came in. And if you get that, you can let go of the constructs that make things seem so heavy and that you have to work so diligently hard to figure out. It's almost like allowing yourself to be let go of. Allowing yourself to be let go of is different than letting go, because you are perfect as you are. It and a bag of chips. But allowing yourself to let go of the constructs that try to tell you you need to follow that prescription and don't eat that carrot and don't pay attention to your intuition is kind of the road that all of us have been on. And we have strategies that we've adapted that keep us on our path. It's just our choosing, like it is for you. So get a little more, suggest a little more clarity on like how you really operate, how you try on and how you play in your authority. It's different for all of us. You know, when I learned that my husband was a projector, I think that was the one. And like it would take a whole moon cycle for someone to make a decision. And I thought about that. I'm like, I can ask him something and he'll go like, uh-huh. I'm like, oh, I don't even have to answer. I get it. So it's like knowing types as well. It's a valuable tool. Does anybody else have human design?
Yeah, I think I'm a manifesting generator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, great. We've got Mandy, did you want to say something about human design real fast? Mandy's in the
Yeah, I love it. I think it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, it's been really helpful learning the way that each different type has a way that they should respond, or a way that best serves them if they respond in that way.
Yep.
And for me as a manifesting generator, it's not necessarily taking initiative, but when opportunities present themselves to then respond. And there's for manifesting generators, there's like a literal noise that you make, like a or an it's like a yes or a no.
Yeah.
And I have just found that to be, it's incredible. It's just so fascinating for those who, oh, and I see someone's a projector. That's cool.
Well, you know what's also cool about that too is like knowing what the signal was for, okay, I'm in. And once I learned it was like up to me to like feel that, but also to let people that I would collaborate with know that, oh, and when I'm out, I'm out. And I took several lessons because I would feel guilty about starting and committing. And then I'm like, I would lose the energy 6 months before I would actually bother to like leave. And the last time I had to do that in a group, it was so graceful. I mean, I wasn't really like super like, oh, I don't know. I don't want them not to like me or diss me or, it's not about them. It's just really is all about me. I just have to honor that. And it took me a while to own that, you know? Yeah. And so like, it just gave me that support. That's what this is about, right? That boost. Like, oh, you're good. You're okay.
Yep.
You can stay longer if you want to.
Yep, all these tools, these are so great. All right, we've got some more things people want to share. So Misan, Tiffany, and Sandra.
Yeah, I mean, any transition is hard. It's hard because the uncertainty, unknown to the future. I don't know what will be next. That was the question. So I think also it's the same at the same time, it's such a powerful time because we can discover who I really am, how powerful I am. So instead of seeking source from outside of me, I can find the source from within. And for me, when I was just thinking about my life when I heard that question, and any big decision in my life, it's not really that what I made. It just happened. So in transition, especially in transition, I went through a lot of transition for the last 1 year. And when I'm in that period of time, I see myself, I'm getting so anxious, nervous. I have to know the answers and I want to plan everything, just wanting to control because I don't feel safe in that space. But at the same time, okay, the safety doesn't come from out there. That's truth. So once I remember that truth, just I can be relaxed. Okay, having totally different perspective, like Sandra shared before, we are the spirit being who has this body, physical body. So I see like what my soul is trying to do at this time, why my soul goes through this time. There's a purpose, there's a lesson that my soul needs to learn to go next level. So focusing on that, okay, I want to learn my lesson. and then just let it go, that desire over control. I want to control my life, whatever outcome. Then really like whatever the next step is, I think the highest version of a past just appears in front of me. That's what I've experienced in my life, whatever that big decision was in my life.
Great. Thank you. Look, Tiffany and then Sandra.
Okay, so my comments really to Renata. You called yourself a flake for wanting to learn something new every 10 years. You're cracking me up over here. I just want to say that doesn't make you a flake. That makes you dynamic. You're keeping things relevant. And to the audience, don't put yourself in a box. If you're curious about something and you're like, oh, I like astrology, take a class on astrology, but I also like crystals. So, I mean, take a class on crystals. You can learn all kinds of different things and create your own offerings based on combining those things. In 2021, I was in a professional setting working in an insurance agency, top producing, and I felt burnt out from the corporate world. I left and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started taking some life coaching classes. I did like 5 of those. And then I was like, oh, well, I wrap crystal jewelry. So I'm going to take some crystal healing classes. Oh, but I'm also interested in astrology. So I took astrology. Oh, but really, I really want to work with star seeds. So, okay, I took galactic astrology and then I took some Reiki classes that were specializing in star seeds. You don't have to pick just one thing. And don't feel bad about wanting to recreate yourself every 5 years. I make things up all the time. I took 10 different classes and this was interesting, that was interesting, and then I make a listing out of 3 different things I learned from 3 different teachers. Just saying, don't put yourself in a box and you're not a flake if you want to change up what you're doing. That just makes you dynamic and keeps you relevant.
Yeah, I get you on that one, but I wasn't really talking about that I'm a flake. I'm just saying in comparison to comparison to like a standard format corporate on my resume, like, oh my gosh, I was always kind of trying to cover up the gaps and feeling a little bit like, oh, less than as a result of that, because I didn't follow a straight trajectory. And then when I learned about my human design, I'm like, oh, I get it. That makes so much sense. So sometimes it's like a full wraparound, but it never stopped me from doing anything, you know. It never stopped me from doing anything. I'm just saying how valuable human design was for me in terms of learning what my type was and how I roll. It's like confirming myself and going all the way backwards and bringing it forward and going, oh, you're it and a bag of chips. I love that I love to learn things. I love that I create things all the time and shift them all the time. I have no box. True story. I just
Great.
had to put that in there.
And Sandra wants to share some too.
Yeah, I want to talk about music and laughter. Music was the tool that I found. I'm a abuse survivor of all the kinds of abuse that occur, and I discovered that music opens, when you listen to music, it opens up almost every single part of your brain, your right, your left, your frontal cortex, your amygdala, everything. And so what I did was sat down. Right now I have a free on my website download for over 350 songs that have positive lyrics. And I promote people getting up in the morning, and as you're getting ready, listening to 15 minutes of it. You can just listen to it, or you can sing to it, or you can dance. And it's things like, this is going to be the best day of my life, really wonderful things. If you're really feeling sad, I have things for that are positive. And, no matter how many times they knock me down, I get up, I get up, I get up. And it helps with that clarity. It sets your stage for the day to be really positive. This is going to be the best day of my life. I can rise above anything. I can do this. And if you sing and dance to it, it even adds more. So for getting clear, it's a place to surrender. Now I'm at a really high vibrational level. I've set the tone for my day. I'm going out into the world with joy and happiness and positivity. And it's amazing what it does. And then I just allow the universe to bring me what's in my highest and best. The second thing I do in the morning is I laugh. I just laugh, belly laughter. It has to be, can't be chuckles. People say to me, I laugh all the day. And I said, do you laugh from your belly where you start getting your sides start aching? Or do you chuckle about things on and off all day? And most people say, oh, I just chuckle if they say they laugh. But if you laugh from your belly about nothing, I just get up and go, my gosh, I used to think life was so hard. And then I start laughing about it. And then I laugh more and I just get my laugh going. There's some things on YouTube with laugh tracks, but I don't find them as valuable. I teach laughter yoga also. And laughter boosts your immune system. It drops dopamine and serotonin into your system. And it clears your sinuses. It clears your body, and your abs get stronger. So laugh. I mean, the more we can laugh and have joy and look at life as a joyful thing, that we are lighted beings bringing joy and light into the world, the better life gets. I love my life. I love every bit of it. The downs, the rain, the thunderstorms, all of it. I love it. So that's the end of my 2 senses.
That's great. Thank you. And it brings us towards the end of the panel where it's time for each of us to close out. Satora already did that. So I'm going to invite all of you practitioners on the panel to go around and share again about who you are, what you do, how people can reach out to you. If you have a special today, please go ahead and share your special again. I put everything in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for attending, for asking questions. It's what allows us to have the panel. All right. Jenny, you want to go first? We do Jenny, Sandra, Tiffany, in order again.
So I agree. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. And I'm Jenny Capella with Miracles with Jenny. You can contact me or go to my website at www.miracleswithjenny.com. And this month, if you sign up before the end of the month, so August 31st, I'm having 50% off on my services. You can email me to find out more about those at miracleswithjenny@gmail.com. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Jenny. Sandra.
I'm Sandra Jeffs. You can reach me at sandrajeffs.com. I'm a light transformational guide, and I also do theta healing. All of my theta healing sessions and setting clear intentions from now until next week are on discount for 10% off if you sign up. And so I hope to see you. Have a great day.
That's great. And the code you need for that is in the chat if you're here today.
MeWe, just like this is, capital M, lower e, capital W, lower e. What did I say? Oh, biz. I-Z. Lower, all lowercase. And you put that in at checkout to get your discount.
That's great. Thank you, Sandra. And Tiffany. And then we'll have Goddess Renata and then Misan.
Thank you, Lorelei. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. We had a great time spending time with all of you and getting to talk about all these fun business topics and everything else. I'm Tiffany Rose. People know me as Intuitive Tiffany Rose. That is the name of my website, intuitivetiffanyRose.com. If you want any of my specials, you just mentioned being at the business panel. You can say MeWe or business panel. Email me at intuitivecoachtiffanyRose@outlook.com. My phone number is also in the comments, so if you want to text me, that's fine too. I'm offering $99 for 90 minutes business brainstorming sessions, so that's half off my normal rate. I'm also offering 20% off Etsy shops or website packages. That's anywhere from $100 to close to $400 off, depending on which package you choose. And most of my website is on sale right now from 20 to 50% off, intuitivetiffanyRose.com. You can find everything on there from galactic astrology, inner child healing, spiritual hygiene coaching, energy clearing, and then some starseed specialties like 7DD Arcturian Reiki. There's money Reiki. There's a lot more. Have fun looking around, but it's all on discount. The services are on discount for a little while, but if you want the business brainstorming or the Etsy website deal, that's for 72 hours. So you got to text or email me within 72 hours if you'd like that special. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thanks, Tiffany. All right, Goddess Renata's next.
This is a great panel. This is like my second time participating. Yeah, I totally enjoyed like the people and then listening to all of you. It's just great. It's like fun now. Things are fun. So Goddess Renata, Goddess Renata at iCloud.com. If you've got some questions, I love if you get a text. And then you can go to Linktree/Goddess Renata, and that has all my links to my social media and my website. And I do have a special listed under Goddess Renata special events with the MeWe, and it's broken down in there. And I think it's like 30 for 30.
Sure.
And okay, 30, I don't know what it is, 30 for 30. And then let's see, what else is that? And then if you want to do a numerology profile with that, it's an additional 40. But the special is 30 for 30, and we just have a nice Zoom session, and you get to look at yourself through a different lens. So again, Goddess Renata. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, and Misan.
But he's here, so he can't be here.
Thank you so much for everyone today, especially panelists here and who was attending and listening. This was my first time today, and thank you for Lorelai inviting me to this amazing event. And my special is that I have a package one-on-one coaching, the minimum 3 months. So I have a 50% for that package. So you can email me through my website, sedonacoach.com. And also you can text me if you see my number on the comment on the chat. And you can book through my website. There's my calendar link there. So also the first two session, I give a complimentary session because it's a package and you cannot just sign up for someone who you don't know for 3 months. So we have a minimum 2 times complimentary session. So see if we are good fit or not.
Great. So if someone wants to connect with you, they can just go to sedonacoach.com. Right?
Yes.
Great. All right. And I'm Lorelai Shamayo. You can find out more about my iReadings work at intuitiveeyereading.com. I've got information about all the different kinds of things I do there. And then you can go to MeWeFairs.com to find out more about all of our upcoming events. Thank you, everyone, so much. Great to be together to support each other in our businesses and moving our practices forward and making a bigger impact on the world, positive impact on the world. Thank you, everyone, for being here on the panel tonight and coming.